The final home game of any college football season is cause for celebration. Senior Day, a perfect way to celebrate and remember all of the accomplishments of this group of leaders. Welcome to Centennial Bank Stadium in Jonesboro, home to the Red Wolves of Arkansas State. As we'll see a squad from the Sun Belt, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, taking on the 13th ranked team in the land, the Arkansas State Red Wolves. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, can't wait to get this one started. And the Red Wolves will get us started with the opening kickoff. That is not the way you want to start, with the kickoff going out of bounds. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. From the gun, Give on the inside. He had all kinds of company as soon as he got it. He had to fight his way back just to get to the line of scrimmage.
Stopping the run is very high on every defensive coordinator's list. Making the team one-dimensional. Nice job stuffing the run on that play right there.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Looking downfield, it's Barber. Rushes on him. And it's incomplete after taking a shot on 2nd down. They're staring at 3rd.
And the offensive coordinator here is really trying to stay aggressive and take a shot. Obviously, the offense couldn't click on that one. But later in the game, if I'm this offense, I'm continuing to stay aggressive. Keep the foot down on the gas pedal.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Unloads to the right. How about a little rhythm that you can tap your toe to on that throw and catch for the 1st down? The Chanticleers come to the line with a new set of downs. Looking downfield on 1st down. Not quite in rhythm there. Incomplete.
It's 2nd down.
Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Just keeps swinging it. This one's complete. Ripping off a good chunk inside the 25, and they're set up with a 1st down.
And a great job by the QB, finding the running back, getting the football where he can do some damage after the catch, and most importantly, get the 1st down.
Wants to throw on 1st down. Working that left side now. Headed to the end zone. And he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, Coastal Carolina. They get set for the point after as we have the first score of the game. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0.
I think the days of running backs just running downhill are out the window. You better be able to do this. You see the playmakers, slip him out of the backfield, throw him the football. He'll handle the rest, get in the end zone for the touchdown.
On the run from inside his own 5. Slips through the line. Oh, what vision. He's going to get loose. They won't get him. It's a touchdown. Boy, nothing electrifies a stadium quite like a return for a touchdown.
It's always so exciting because you don't see them very often. You got to go so many yards, 80, 90 yards at a time. What a great job by the returners, showing the speed, providing the electricity. There's a reason they're all jacked up, and it's because of that awesome kickoff return.
Just into the end zone, and he'll bring it out. Excellent job by the kick coverage team. A pretty minimal gain on that return. takes over, and here comes the offense. They stuck the last drive in the end zone. They'll try to follow suit here. Using the quick game. Nice gain on that play, but a little bit short of the first down.
Man, you put those slot receivers in there, and here's why you do it. You back them off the football a lot of times, but who's guarding them? A lot of times those are linebackers. Those are safeties. You get those good matchups where you can feature one of your speedsters, and a lot of times good things happen.
Takes the easy throw in the flat. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one.
Now on offense, you're trying to get your running back involved here in the passing game, and obviously no success on that play. Defense seemed like they were aware of it, and all of a sudden you've set yourself up in a tough position here on third.
Unloads to the wideout. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up. And the Chanticleers decide to punt it away. The punter going to get his first work of the afternoon. Well, what that punt lacked in height, it made up for by being short. And they'll let that one go, and it'll roll out of bounds. They'll go to the ground, finding an escape route. Past the first down marker and still running. They ripped off a big one, and they get it down to the 27.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm always keeping track as a defensive coordinator of where they're running the football. You can see they ran it to the right. Do they like this matchup? Is the right side of their offensive line really good? I'm going to be paying attention to that because that's a big gain. I got to make sure I shut this down the next time they run it.
The Red Wolves just got that huge run. They'd love another explosive play. Back to throw, it's Flowers. Got his man. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line.
And I tell you what, all this spread offense, man, it's really accentuated receivers in so many different shapes and sizes. But this guy, they're going to find him. They're going to find him early. They're going to find him often. He's made so many plays throughout the season and really been the feature of this offense. And this dude has worked his way. He might get a trip to New York as a wide receiver. That is not normal, and neither is this dude.
Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. Guys, you think about where Arkansas State is as a program. Breaking into the top 15 is one step closer to the college football playoff. You've made it this far. The dream is within reach. Question becomes, will they take the next step, Jesse?
You got to keep winning. Now when we're talking about this team, you're hearing college football playoff in the same sentence because of where they're ranked in the top 15. So, David, as they move forward, they've got to continue to elevate and ascend with their talent and play on the field.
Yeah, and it's exciting, right? To be mentioned, it's exciting. To hear yourself talked about on shows and to be a team that's getting respect is great. Now, let's keep pushing that pedal to the floor to be the best team we can be.
They'll run the sneak for it. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down.
And I think those quarterback sneaks used to be for the big, strapping quarterbacks. But, man, nowadays, dude, all you got to do is fall forward, and it's such a hard play to stop. So you see this all across all levels of football, and it's just a difficult play to stop.
They're going to run it. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Arkansas State.
What a luxury for an offense to have. The ability to set the tone on the ground, giving that guy the football time after time, making offense easy, being physical, and really setting the tone for this football game.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. Coastal Carolina has it. The Chanticleer offense headed back to the field. This feels like one of those games you might have to answer every score. Already down 14-7. To the air. It's Barber. Fires to the wideout. Got his man downfield. He's got enough for the first down. They'll spot it at the 37.
That's the one danger defensively when you want to play zone coverage, because you leave a lot of windows and pockets out on the field. And if the offensive quarterback find one, they could hurt you. You saw it right there on the crossing.
And he is swarmed under a host of defenders there to make the stop. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Wants to go up top. Fires to the tight end. Excellent job working through the air there, finding a hole in that defense and picking up a first down. That throw and catch, a really good example of why coaches don't want a quarterback to get stuck on a particular target, isn't it, David?
Yep, that's exactly right. Find the guy who's open, because you got so many guys that have so much speed that can do so much damage on the field. Find my matchup, get it to him, let him do the rest.
Well, it's a nice job by the quarterback getting the ball out of his hands quickly on that RPO. He saw something he liked, just not on the same page with his receiver.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. A 6-yard pickup that leaves them with 3rd and 4.
And those little runs, man, they don't look great in the box score, but I love when an offense stays on schedule and it makes those third downs more manageable, easier, harder to attack me now from the defensive perspective trying to get to me. So it's an easy, simple play for this offense, but I love it.
Wants to throw. It's Barber. Throws to the back. Firing to the right, complete. Breaks into the open. Defense makes a stop, but the chains move, and it's 1st and goal from the 8. And that big gainer on the last one has them threatening from inside the 10. They'll dial up the run on 1st and goal. He's brought down at the 7-yard line, and they are threatening to take it in. We've reached the break, and Arkansas State has the lead. And we've come to the end of one, and let's take a quick moment to catch up on the stats. Now to see if these guys can get back in the game in the second quarter. They'll try to open this quarter by sticking it in the end zone here. Going to swing it on second down. Fires into the end zone. Can't make the grab as he was going for 6 right there.
Well, I love the coverage on defense. In the red zone, everyone's got their eyes on the quarterback, and they're flying to the football, and you saw that there on the incompletion.
It's 3rd and goal and 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Intercepted for the 11th time.
And some defensive backs just have a way of finding the football. He's starting to develop that. His 3rd interception on the season just has a good feel for playing that spot in the back end.
Arkansas State ready to go back to work on offense. Last drive went for 6. We'll see if they can do it again. Smithers into space. There he goes.
How nice is it in an offense when you can generate explosive plays by running the football? You got to force feed this guy, man. He is an absolute game changer.
And the Red Wolves come to the line after ripping off that huge gain on the ground, trying to keep it going. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again. Crosses the 40, gets it down to the 35 before he stopped. A gain of 6.
You love to see this on offense. Early in drives, getting that kind of yardage keeps you ahead of the chains.
Dropping back, it's Flowers. Makes the catch. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down. That was a nice pickup, running the drag route and finding that quiet, soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, drag routes not only work against man coverage, they work against zone too. If you can find the soft spot and the quarterback gets it to him early, he can turn upfield, and you saw that right there.
Quick completion on the out. Smashes through the tackle. Touchdown, Red Wolves! Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone. The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Guys, it is now a final in the Big Ten and a game I think a lot of folks will want to see. Nebraska rolled to a victory, and after putting up this kind of win, there has to be some Heisman buzz around a program that's produced winners of the award from Johnny Rodgers to Mike Rozier to Eric Crouch. No cupcakes this week, fellas. This Big Ten battle was much anticipated, and at least one side can say it's a game they'll savor for some time.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. The shot that clears with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. From the gun, running back gets to give. Oh, he's got some space. The 20. Inside. Touchdown, Coastal. He got a step and just dusted the field.
Man, I am a great play caller when I can hand it to guys like that. And he can go that far to the house, create big plays, showed you a little bit of vision, showed you a little bit of burners when he kicked it in gear and got the long touchdown run.
Coastal Carolina, 14.
They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. He'll bring it out from inside his own 10. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23.
Red Wolves will take over 1st and 10.
Guys, we'll see if this Red Wolves offense can get moving. The way this game started, you feel as if you have to score a touchdown every time you have it, and now we'll see if they can respond.
Yeah, and I wonder how much pressure that puts on the offense. Jesse, like, you know this is back and forth, and I got to score, and every possession matters so much. What does that do to you as a quarterback?
Well, it puts a lot more pressure on you for sure to feel like I got to make every third down throw. If guys are open vertically down the field, I got to hit them too. We can't let our serve get broken.
Big play to start this drive. Now they'll snap it from the 39. From the gun, the ground game. Makes it past the marker. They'll get him stopped at the 45, but it's a big 15-yard pickup and a first down.
And a great job by the offensive line. If you're going to run the ball right at the middle, you better control the line of scrimmage. You can see the center, the guard, the tackles doing a good job getting on their guys just enough where this running back can get into space and make the big gain.
Looking to throw, it's Flowers. Fires deep toward the end zone. And they weren't able to make the connection. They were looking for an explosive play.
Well, they hooked up already once for a score today, so the quarterback's going back to him again deep down the field, but it falls incomplete.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Back to pass. Catch in the middle, it's Pop. Turning it on! He's all the way down to the 27-yard line, and they are threatening.
QBs, when you see zone coverage, man, can you manipulate defense when you have a good pocket and you've got time to throw. He had a little bit of time to throw. You can move guys with your eyes. That drag comes wide open. Good throw, good catch, first down.
The Red Wolves will have it 1st and 10. Looking for space, it's Hatchett. Gets it inside the 25, down to the 22-yard line with a pickup of 4. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. They'll try it over the left side. Got some room, entered to the goal line. touchdown, Red Wolves! And they take it in for 6 more points.
Another rushing touchdown. That's now 2 on the game. This offense thought they could come into this one running the ball, being the more physical team, and they look like it right now.
And the extra point pushes the lead to 14.
That means the score, Arkansas State 28, Coastal Carolina.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead.
This one away.
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. Let's see if they can get something going here late in the half. Motion from the back. Pulls it fired complete. And the shot that clears moving quickly to the line. The give to the tailback. This time he doesn't get loose, and finally the defense gets him bottled up behind the line. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. The shot that clears come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. Dropping back, it's Barber. Looking deep. And they wanted it all on 3rd down, but now dealing. Fourth down.
Pedal to the metal right now for this offense. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Here on their 3rd possession, they're still taking shots way down the field, and why not? Give the defense credit finally. Something good happens for them to get the incompletion, but if I'm this quarterback, I'm still throwing it deep.
Boy, if they don't convert this 4th down, there will be questions to be answered. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Don't even think about sending the special teams out on 4th down and 3. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Quarterback now on the run, still looking. Breaks into the open. Across the 50 and knocked out of bounds at the 48. An explosive play gets this offense working.
That's the danger as a defense when you play man coverage, is that if the quarterback decides to scramble, there may not be anybody there to make a tackle right away. You obviously want to take care of everything on the back end, and with these receivers, you got to get them locked down. But if you're the D coordinator here, you got to be more selective with your coverage and mix it up, because man coverage against a scrambling quarterback can hurt you.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. They stop him just short of the 1st down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up. And the shot that clears come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the 1st down.
Well, there's another outstanding run. You've been seeing that all season long. I think we all expected this guy to be really good as a true freshman. I don't know if anybody expected this. The fact that he's in the Heisman race as a true freshman, that's just ridiculous.
The shot that clears back to the line on 1st down. Let's see if they keep leaning on this running game. To the air, it's Barber. Sends it downfield. Intercepted. A first-half turnover can swing momentum. They'll stop him at the 22-yard line as the defense makes a play.
And he makes a play in the back end. Nice job reading the pass, and that's his second of the season. This guy, unbelievable job seeing the quarterback, breaking on the quarterback, and going and getting that big play.
They're going to throw it to start the drive. Snagged out of the air.
A nice job by the QB there, timing out that drag throw. It's zone coverage, so he's got to make sure he gets it to his receiver in a window to allow him to catch the ball and then turn it upfield.
Back to pass on second down. Quarterback on the move, still looking. Couldn't find anyone open here, and he'll live to fight another play. It'll be third down.
And that goes down as incompletion, but that's a smart play. And the QB coach and the OC will be very happy with the decision of the quarterback. He got outside the pocket. He obviously was he's outside the tackle boxes. He knew he could throw it away as long as he got it past the line of scrimmage. Nothing there, nothing open. Live to fight another down.
He hurls one deep down the left side. Hits him in stride inside the 10. He is down at the 1. A terrific run after the throw and catch. This offense is about to face the one thing that can stop it. Time expiring in the first half. Before then, they can get another score. And he tries to wedge his way into the end zone, but the defense sneaks into the end zone.
And I tell you what, Reese, I'm not picking a team unless I got a guy that can do something like this in the quarterback spot. I need an athlete. I need a little bit of mobility. It just dictates too much to the defense. QB runs in for 6.
And they split the uprights on the extra point. They're up 35-14. So they got the touchdown, and as they kick off, really important for the defense to shut them down here. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Scanning the field, it's Barber. Grabbed in the middle, it's O'Neal. They get him down at the 36. It will be a first down. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Now from the 36-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. And they won't make the connection, looking to make a big play there.
And that's a really good job by this defense being dialed in. You got a big lead. You know exactly what's coming. This offense is going to have to make some explosive plays down the field. They were ready, they were disciplined, and made a good play on the football.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Looking to fire. This time he's got it. Still on his feet at the 45. He stopped at the 40, but it'll be a first down here late in the half. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Swings it out to his running back. They've got it inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 28. It's first down. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. And the Chanticleers will line it up on 1st and 10. To the air on first down. Right down the middle. And he is finding wide open defenders all over the field. His 3rd interception of the day.
And another mistake from this quarterback. That's back-to-back drives now that have resulted in interceptions. He's got to find a way to find something different, get in a better rhythm, start seeing the field better, Palmer, because he's not in a flow right now.
No, David, it looks like he's forcing the football a little bit, maybe trying to make up for that interception he threw on the last drive. But that last play, there was no way that football should have gone there. He could have gotten off of that, checked it down, or thrown it away. This quarterback, he needs a breather right now. He's got to collect himself.
That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. Arkansas State has it ready to go to work on offense. Let's see if they can keep that first half momentum rolling. Breaks the tackle. Finds his way ahead for 3 out to the 27-yard line.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
The give on the inside. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got the lead in the third quarter and you want to keep it, you got to bleed the clock. Best way to do that, run the football. And you're now seeing this offense call these run plays back to back. They are trying to be physical, and they're trying to stay on the field.
And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
Yeah, and you just wonder if the defense now has taken out some frustration. Obviously, they've been getting lit up all over the place. And that time, they finally gave it back to the offense there. Really nice, big, clean hit. This defense needs a little bit more of that as the game goes on.
It'll be third and long. The offense changing the play. Looking downfield, it's Flowers. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. That'll be enough for the first down as they stop him at the 43-yard line.
This is exactly why third down is practiced every single day. Third and short, third and medium, third and long. It's money down for a reason. You got to lock in. Great success by the offense so far on third down.
Try to get the edge with a quick touch pass. Out of the crowd, and now he's got room. And he will finally go out of bounds after another big gain, and they are absolutely gashing them with this running game. And the Red Wolves, after ripping off that huge run, let's see if they can do it again. Handoff to the lone back. They make the stop after a pickup of 3 just inside the red zone at the 19.
And that run really didn't go anywhere, and a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. Run in the red zone, it's Hawkins. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. The Red Wolves headed quickly to the line. Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. Tight end getting vertical. They make the tackle just outside the end zone, but it'll be first and goal from the 1. And the Red Wolves started this drive backed up in their own end, and now they've moved into position to score.
And the defense has to be kicking themselves for allowing a first down there. You're just maybe going to give them a few yards and let them set up for a field goal. Instead, you let them move the chains, and now they're knocking on your door, first and goal.
And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Arkansas State. On to attempt to try. And with the extra point, they push the lead out a little further. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Guys, it is now a final in Conference USA and a game I think a lot of folks will want to hear about. Lots Tech delivered the knockout blow early in this one, en route to the type of win that can turn some heads there in CUSA. Trust me when I say the party is on in Ruston. A busy day in CUSA, and an outcome that figures to shuffle the deck there as we send it back to you.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. Coastal Carolina takes over, and here comes the offense. Quarterback extends the play. Gets rid of it. Makes the grab on the left. Across the 35, out of bounds at the 36, and a really good pickup as they're starting to move. They'll snap it from the 36. They've got a first down. Looking for a man. It's Barber. Makes the grab. It's O'Neal. Brought down at the 46, but he got 10 on the play. They are dialed in on this drive. A couple of chunk plays, and now they'll snap it on first down. Wants to go up top on first down. Pulls it in. It's O'Neal. They'll finally drag him down, but not before he gets it to the 40, and it's a first down.
I know the offense is down by a lot here in the second half. You just need one big play, though, to spark the offense, get the confidence going, and they may have found it right there in that completion. Good throw, good catch. Now we got to keep it going.
Makes the grab. Ran right through the defender, and now he's still running. He's finally stopped, but not before he takes it into the red zone. They'll mark it at the 18. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
And after your defense just went out there and gave up a touchdown and let them build the lead more, you really need to come out with this drive and answer. And the running game is not it. They were ready for that. Going to have to create some explosive plays through the passing game.
They'll go to work in the air on second down. Looking to the end zone. It falls incomplete. He was trying to find his man for 6.
Man, he almost throws another one. I tell you what, it's just been one of those days. Sometimes it's not your day, and just turning the ball over like they're a nonprofit, man, just giving it away. This offense has been reckless. It's been careless. They've got to do a better job of being smart with the football.
Looking left. Pulls it in. He'll be stopped just short of the end zone, but they'll have it first and goal. The Chanticleers want to pick up the tempo. They'll try to get it in with the run. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Chanticleer. Got to start cutting into this lead somewhere. Now the question, will they have enough time?
But that's step one. You got to get that first score. You got to get back in the ball game and get some of that momentum back on your side. You still got more work to do, but step one accomplished.
Now a two-point conversion attempt coming up. Back to pass, it's Barber. Pocket breaking down. That pass is incomplete.
Yeah, and the defense comes up with the stop, and you just wonder, the analytics world and all that stuff, that whatever the card says to do, you're supposed to do. I wonder if they were listening to that card.
From inside the 10, here he comes. He only needs a sliver of daylight, and he'll be brought down after a solid effort on that return. Decent field position to start this drive from their own 33. Looking downfield on first down. Got it in the middle, it's Hawkins. He snagged it, but he'll be stopped short of the first down. Good, solid pickup on that play. The Red Wolves can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. They'll run it out of the shotgun. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Yeah, you just feel like the running back's asking for redemption on that one. You know, second and short, and you're giving him the football. He can't get the first himself. Now it's third down. He's looking over on the sideline like, call it again, throw me the ball, I can go do this. It's never a good feeling for the running back in that situation.
Lets it fly. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. Fourth down coming up. And the Red Wolves send out the punt unit.
Number 36, on to kick it away.
He'll take it on the return. And the coverage team able to wrestle him down.
Carolina offense will take over from things in.
The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. And this is dropped. Incomplete pass. He had a huge gain in his fingers and he couldn't hold on. High the chains now on second and long. Couldn't connect on first down. Now back to the air. Caught over the middle. It's Bolden. Found a little bit of room to operate, but he'll be stopped just short of the first down.
Tackle is made at the 32-yard line. Third down.
That's the end of the quarter, and Arkansas State is on top. Let's take a quick look at the national rankings to see how this playoff race is shaping up. Just about ready to go in the fourth, and we'll see if any drama can be mustered. Something up this third down play. Movement on the offensive line. That's going to be a false start, and they'll walk it back. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Third down conversions, always a huge stat, and they've got a third and long from the 27. Back to pass, it's Barber. Makes the grab. Still running at the 40. They finally get him on the ground, but he's got an explosive play for the first down. And the Chanticleers will hustle to the line. Wants to throw it. Oh, he's going to try to hit him deep. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
Well, they take a shot down the field. It's another incompletion. It's really been that kind of story. This defense has made this guy earn it every single play. Really small windows to throw into. One touchdown pass. That's a little bit surprising. You thought maybe they'd have more in this game.
On second down, he'll try to make the connection. And he drops it. Just took his eye off of it at the last minute.
And I absolutely love what this defense is doing, man. You know exactly what time it is. You've got a big lead. They're going to have to throw the football. So more nickels, more dimes, bring the speed on the field, and get ready to play the pass.
Now facing a third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the right. He's got it. And they got the defense on that one, and they get it to the 29-yard line. The Chanticleers are moving quickly down the field. And he just continues to put up numbers, and that number is now over 300.
This guy just throws completions, man. The ball doesn't seem to touch the ground. He's back there. He's making the right reads. Right now, he is locked into what this defense is trying to do.
Offense set on first down.
Get set.
They'll move the wide receiver. To throw, it's Barber. Here's a heat. Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
And finally, the defense is able to get some pressure on this quarterback. They had been trying all game long different ways to affect him, weren't able to get there. But on that play, because of the pressure, it affected his accuracy, and that's why the ball falls incomplete.
To the air on second down. Looking for the end zone. Another interception. That's his fourth of the day. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
And as a defensive lineman late in the game, man, when you know it's past, you're pinning your ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and DBs are trying to do this. Pad them stats, get the INT. Nice job by this D.
Arkansas State ready to go back to work on offense. Didn't get anything done, 3 and out on their last series. They'll try to find a rhythm here. Running back searching for a hole. Navigates that mass of bodies and gets 4 out to the 17.
And I know you can play these late game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football, you preserve the lead, you got great field position, you're in a great position to salt this clock away and get a W.
Great team defense on that run play. Everybody doing their job. People winning their one-on-ones, D linemen staying in their gaps, linebackers and DBs filling. You just can't do it better.
Quarterback may change this route. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Got it in the middle, it's Harrell. Now they've got even more breathing room out to the 31 and a fresh set of downs. He just keeps piling up numbers with completion after completion in this standout performance.
And I think some people might say late in the game, you got the win, everything's in hand, be a little bit conservative, or you just say, I'm just going to keep doing me. And what I do with this offense is throw the football all over the yard, and I'm going to try to win me a big trophy at the end of the year.
And here's the mindset if you're on offense. 4th quarter, you've got a huge lead. Obviously, you're going to run the football, but just be aware of the clock. You don't want to snap it too quickly. You're probably just doing safe runs inside the tackles like you saw right there. You just got to...
Another interception. That's number 17 on the year. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover. Coastal Carolina has it. The Chanticleer offense headed back to the field. Boy, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the football, you're going to throw interceptions, but I think I stay aggressive with this offense. I get back to what I did in the first part of that drive, what made me successful.
I agree, David. Just turn the page if you're a quarterback, right? On this drive, you did a lot of good things there leading up to that pick. Forget about it, move on, play the next play.
Motion from the wideout. To the air, it's Barber. He tries to take the top off. And that's going to be incomplete. Going for broke on 2nd down, but 3rd down's coming up.
This was my favorite time to be a defensive lineman, man. You get up big, late in the game, you know it's past. You're just teeing off on the quarterback. The defensive backs, they're bailing, playing those deep passes. It is hard to play offensive football in this situation.
Another incompletion on 3rd down.
And it's just been frustrating to watch the inconsistency of this guy at QB, man. You've got to be able to stay in rhythm in an offense and stay ahead of schedule. And he's had a moment and he threw a touchdown pass, but more consistency, more finding the open guys, delivering it to them, and keeping this offense on schedule.
Throws to the tight end. Big tight end makes the grab. It's a 1st down. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect 4th down call there. Wants to throw on 1st down. There he goes. Got some room, headed to the goal line. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover. Everything broke down. The quarterback tried to bail them out, but he ended up making things worse when he fumbled.
Yeah, I like the quarterback and his athleticism, extending the play and at least giving himself the chance, but you got to finish. You still have to do a good job taking care of the football. That's priority number 1. He wasn't able to do that.
Listen, the offensive coordinator's best friend in the red zone is the running game. Make guys commit near the line of scrimmage so I can throw behind. This defense is good, but I'm going to challenge them. I'm going to try to be the more physical team. I love the play call. I think you keep running the football and stay physical.
They'll run it, trying to drain time off the clock. That hole closed quickly. He'll get one out to the 6.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
Off play action. Finds a tight end. They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the first down.
Man, really nice job by this offense. Look at the play action. Really sell the fake. You watch people, they scramble up, they go up to play the run. Nice job, quarterback, putting his foot in the ground, completing the pass, and getting the first down on third down.
They'll give it to the back. Knocked down in the backfield, and boy, this guy's had a good day, but they finally get to him on that run.
Well, the defense finally able to make a play, getting a tackle for loss. They haven't had many of those today because this running back really has answered the bell. They knew coming in they were going to have to give him the football, force-feed it to him.
Oh, he's going to take a shot at the DB. And they can't hook up, going for the big play on second down. Now it's third down.
And how about this offense? They're not worried about the clock. They're not worried about the score. They're not worried about early and down. Still trying to execute their offense. Still trying to make big plays. And they've had a great day so far.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. Third and long, backed up inside their 20. Throws to the wideout. Working on the right. Doesn't quite make it to the first down marker. He's a yard short. The Red Wolves will line up to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. They kick it away on fourth down. He will not make a fair catch. Field the punt and bring it back. And he'll work his way on the return out to the 35-yard line before he stopped. They'll start this drive from their own 35-yard line. Gets the back moving. Looking to throw, it's Barber. Makes the catch, it's Glass. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. They'll hurry to the line with the clock still running. Looking to throw on first down. A deep throw as the clock winds down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, at this point, you're still trying to throw stuff up against the blackboard and see if it sticks. You're down by a lot of points, so why not try it, right? And give the offense credit. You know, you're not just going to run the football. You're not just going to take a knee and go into the locker room with your tail between your legs. I like the fighting spirit, just not enough of that today.
He'll try it again on 2nd and 10. Makes the catch. It's Glass. He'll go out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Big pickup there, and this offense is feeling it. And the Shanta Clears have it with a 1st and 10. Tight end now in motion. Looking to throw on first down. Fires toward the end zone. A sensational grab down the field there as they try to at least put a positive spin on the end of this game. The Shanta Clears are in the hurry-up. The corners are walked up tight. A first down run on the doorstep. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. On 2nd and goal, they go right back to him. Timeout called by the offense. A mere 10 seconds to go in the game.
Timeout, Coastal Carolina.
And they'll try to bite a chunk out of this lead on 3rd and goal. Looking for a man. It's Barber. Ball into the end zone, and it's intercepted. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
The number one objective for a defense is to make the offense one-dimensional. Well, when they're trailing by this much, late in the game, they're one-dimensional. They have to pass the football. We can bring more speed on the field. You see it. We know you're throwing the football. Nice break on the football. Nice interception. This one's almost over.
They can stop the clock a couple more times, and they need to get it back fast, down 2 possessions as the clock keeps winding down. Winning those individual 6-second battles every play, time after time after time after time, and that leads to a victory here.
And I love when teams go out and play like it's sudden death. Like if they lose the game, their entire season is over. This game wasn't for the national championship, but you wouldn't know that watching this winning team, David. Tremendous effort and tremendous execution.
I love competitive people. I love competitive coaches. I love competitive teams that they know that their job is to go out and get a W no matter where you play. You want to play in the parking lot? We'll go meet you. Great job by this team being ready, getting the W.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.